meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for Monday, January 24th, 2022. We have a pretty busy agenda this evening, which is good. Sorry that we can't have the public in our conference room, but hopefully that'll be changed in the near future. So, first order of business is people here would rise and do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The agenda review, I think we do have some revisions to that tonight. We have guests here from the town, town administrator Brian Savage and select board member Joe Funya. I was informed we were looking for an executive session to discuss something that they brought up before we go any further, so they can depart and we can get on with our meeting. So
move the executive session up to before public comment.
yeah, that's right now.
Okay.
So if I can entertain a motion to go into executive session briefly, that would be good.
Move to go to executive session to discuss with the town. I'll second it.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded for us to go into executive session to have a brief discussion with the town officials. All those, no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed.
Recording stopped.
We're in executive session. Okay, we're back from executive session. We just had a brief discussion with the town officials. We're making decisions, so we're not trying to hide anything. So I guess we'll continue with our agenda, and the next item on our agenda this evening is public comment. Does anybody on Zoom like to say anything at this point?
Gordon Winters, I got his ceiling, and Suzanne Washburn is on. Hey,
I'm
Gordon.
still here. I'm okay with, I have no comment at this time.
Okay.
Okay, Gordon? Hi, Gordon. Is he muted or?
No.
No. So there's no public comment. Next item on our agenda, approve and accept the minutes from Monday, January 10th, 2022, and acknowledge the minutes from Thursday, January 13th, 2022.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes from Monday, January 10th and Thursday, January 13th as written.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve and accept the minutes from Monday, January 10th, and acknowledge the minutes from January 13th. Any discussion on those? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposition, the motion carried unanimously. Item number 6, approve and accept the village warrants through Thursday, January 20th, 2022. What's your pleasure with the warrants?
I move that they be approved.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve and accept our village warrants through Thursday, January 20th. Any questions on the warrants?
I have one. Company called Nick.
Which one are you talking about? The one that we were looking at, Will? When you go, the dollar goes like this? Yeah. And then it goes like that?
Oh, you did.
Okay, go ahead.
What company is Nexon?
Nexon is that's the company from at the wastewater plant that did the analysis for the phosphorus removal.
Yes.
That's one of the 3 companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I just did recognize
Had to shake some brain cells there for a second. That was a while ago.
We reawaken. Any other questions, comments?
No.
If not, all those in favor of approving and accepting the village warrants, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no opposition, the motion is carried unanimously. Item number 7, approve and adopt the Village of Swanton 2022 warning as presented. I'd like to entertain a little discussion previous to approving that warning. I've talked to some people locally and in the county, and I think we should consider adding to that warning for the voters' approval or disapproval. This is a new issue. It's not an issue, it's a situation for the retail sale of cannabis. I don't know how many read the article in the Messenger last week, but the town of St. Albans has put it on their warning, and I think it would be good for us to strive to find out whether there's a flavor for this or not. Not that there's anything going to become of it, but then we'd know how the voters felt about this is retail sale of cannabis, and we have to have voter approval. And instead of having a special meeting, we could put it right on our annual meeting agenda and have the voters let us know which one way or the other. So,
And it's basically
anybody else-
just to,
pardon?
it's basically just to get the flavor of the
Yes.
residents.
Yeah.
It's a yes or no question. Would you approve it, or would you accept it, or would you not accept it?
Yes, right.
So, and there's really no action, it's more informational at this point.
No. There could be some at the informational meeting, if you could bring somebody in to
Okay.
address retail sale. I'm not sure yet what the town of St. Albans is doing for the information on that, but they do have it on the ballot. That way, if the opportunity was out there to set up a retail sale in the village, this is on the village warrant, I don't know about the town. But we know whether the voters were in favor of it or
Okay.
not, so.
Yeah.
I think this is a good opportunity to, number one, if there was somebody that approached us in the future, we would know whether the voters wanted them in our community or not, so.
Yeah, I agree.
So, any more feedback from you guys or Reg?
I think let the voters decide.
Yep.
Let the voters make the decision.
Reg?
Yeah,
Agree.
I think the voters should decide this one.
Okay,
I was
so,
just looking to see if I could pull up the warning, but
I emailed it to you a little bit ago, but I'll
Okay.
provide it real quick.
that's all right, I can pull it
Sure.
up if you emailed it to me.
so, I think the way we'll do it is I'll entertain a motion to put the proposal in front of the voters on the village warning as to whether they would approve or disapprove the retail sale of cannabis in the village of Swanton.
Should it be an opportunity for the village?
Yeah.
So the question
Not like
should
there
be,
is already.
Right, right.
So I was gonna word it like, shall the voters of the village of Swanton authorize the Board of Trustees to allow the sale, for retail sales of cannabis within the village of Swanton?
yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yes, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, so that's the motion.
So moved.
I'll second. Oh, there's a second.
Moved and seconded for the motion to approve or disapprove this retail sale of cannabis on the village warning this year,
So you didn't just approve the warning though?
No.
Okay.
No, this is
Just
the
add
last
that
issue
to it,
to
okay.
this,
So
yeah,
now this is part of the
before we vote on it. So if you could revise, the motion's on the floor. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it's carried unanimously. So we can have Diane go and add that to our warning before we approve it this evening. And we'll carry on some of the other business while you're in the process of that, and then we'll come back to the,
So I got the warning up on shared screen for people out in the audience.
Okay. Should I respond to this one?
Sorry. Want to read through the warning, or do we usually read the warning? No, it's usually
Yes.
at the voting.
Usually done at the informational meeting.
yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a printed?
I don't.
Okay.
I have it on the screen behind
Well, we
you.
will have it.
It's the first email, so.
I think I.
Okay, so, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda and come back to the warning, if everybody's okay with that.
Yes.
Item number 8, the new water and sewer rates to be effective March 1st, 2022.
We do need to go into water commissioners for
Okay.
that, I'm told.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll make the
Okay.
motion, we go into water commissioners
Okay,
to
the
discuss
motion,
new water and sewer rates.
I'll second that motion.
motion's been made and seconded to go into water commissioners meeting to address, the new water and sewer rates. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, we're in, motion's carried, we are in the water commissioner meeting, so.
Lynn, you got this one, or?
Yeah, can you bring up the water and sewer rate? There, Diane had emailed them out in the board packet.
You doing the water first?
Sure.
Is that it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So when we adopted budgets at the last meeting, I didn't have you guys specifically adopt the new rates. So these rates right here would be the new rates that would go in effect for March 1st. So it would be for consumption in February of '22. It's a slight increase over what we had. The fixed rates, I believe, are the same as what we've got currently. It's just the variable rates went up a little bit to cover our costs in the water department. So we would just need you guys to approve these rates. If you want, we can wait and do the water and sewer rates together. So here's the sewer rates. These rates are, what I did was kind of split the difference between where the rates were currently and where the rates needed to be. And that way, kind of soften the blow a little bit. In the sewer department, what we're seeing is we've got 2 large industrial customers that we bill on a different rate structure. And because of COVID, I believe was part of it, we're seeing a reduction in our revenue from them. So that's kind of driving some of it. The sewer department has needed rate increases. We've done some rate increases in the last few years. And now we've never been able to see we've never caught rate up. We've always put the rates less than what we needed, so we didn't impact our customers too bad. So what I wanted to do was do basically half of what we needed this year, and then reevaluate next year and do the other half if we need to, or maybe by then, the rates consumption will stabilize and we won't need as much next year. But these are, and with the sewer rates, the town and the village, you pay the same no matter where you live.
Okay.
With the water, it's double if you live in the town.
Okay.
Lynn, may I ask a question? Suzanne here.
Sure.
On the village page, and the water and sewer rates that are posted are effective I'm on the phone, so I can't see what your water and sewer rates are proposed to be. I'm just wanting to write it down.
Okay, so for the sewer rates, the residential rate would be a flat rate of $37.83 a month, and the variable rate is $4.67 per 1,000 gallons. And then, commercial is double that for fixed rate, and then industrial is double that again for the fixed rate, but we leave the variable rate the same for 1,000 gallons.
Okay, thank you. And
Reggie,
then the water,
Can you flip me back to the water rates?
Yep,
So for the residential, fixed rate for the village, it's $23.16. And for the town, it's $46.31. The commercial village rate is $46.31. The commercial, town rate is $92.63. And then that's the same rate for industrial village, and then industrial town is $185.26. The variable rate for the village is $3.29, and the variable rate for the town is $6.58.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Need a motion, Mr. President?
Yes, I do. If, questions are over, nobody else has any? Okay.
Okay, I'll make a
Yes.
motion that we approve the water and sewer rates as proposed by Lynn.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the new water and sewer rates as stated. I guess there's no more discussion because we've already had it. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion's carried to approve the new sewer and water rates unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, acknowledge the fourth quarter.
Motion to come out of water commissioners.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
Thank you, madam.
Yep.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to come out of our water commissioners meeting into our regular meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, we're back in our regular meeting. Next item on the agenda this evening, Chris's favorite, acknowledge the fourth quarter SQRP report.
Do we have a copy, do I have a copy of that?
it's up right now.
It was emailed to you.
It's on the screen.
It's in the email?
I had one, well, yeah, you can look at mine if you want, Chris, but I had a question, on 4A. The normal, the baseline is less than 5%, but we're at 24.5. Is that correct? Or is it a typo? Look at 4A,
Yeah,
C.
I think that's a typo. I think there's a formula error.
There's some
If I look-
information missing.
Yeah, if I look at the second quarter,
Yes,
there's no information that didn't flow through from the other, Excel tabs.
okay. As long as we're not,
I can
Uh,
fix it and bring it for the next meeting, or I can go do it right now. It's up
I
to you.
don't care. It's an error, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's
has
just-
to, it needs to be fixed before it's sent.
And, yeah, it just needs to be fixed before we,
I
We
can,
can approve it.
We don't,
I mean, it's
we just
just an
acknowledge it.
acknowledge.
we
We
can
acknowledge it.
acknowledge
acknowledge it anyway,
correct.
but we do it, it does
But
get,
it needs to be
We
fixed.
acknowledge it and then somebody sends it.
Yeah, we'll
So,
fix it tomorrow.
not a
just,
big deal, just.
just so everybody knows, the SCORP report is an internal report on how well we treat our customers. Basically, it's not measured against anybody else, nobody else gets to see ours, and we don't get to see everybody else's. But personally, having watched over this report for 20 years and plus now, we always do very well, our customers are treated well, our rates are very low, our response rates are extremely reasonable and good. Therefore, I would say we meet all of our expectations and that we have reviewed this report and file it. corrected as necessary, with the typo that's there, but, we acknowledge that we're doing well and caring for our customers at all levels.
Amen.
You don't need a motion for that, just.
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
so the report has been acknowledged to include one correction. So I think we'll return to, item number 6, approve and accept, oh, wait a minute, item 7. Approve and adopt the Village of Swanton 2022 warning as presented.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Let me bring that back up.
Bring it back up.
I didn't email you the one with the change.
Hang on, let me find it again.
Is it on the screen too? Or
I
just-
can-
The correction isn't, but I can tell you what I wrote for number 10.
that. Okay,
I
please.
can read.
I wrote, shall the voters of the Village of Swanton authorize the Board of Trustees to allow the retail sale of cannabis within the Village of Swanton?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, that being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve the warning.
So moved.
2022 warning.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the 2022 village warning with the addition of the cannabis article. Any more discussion on that?
No discussion, but maybe you should mention the dates of the calendar meeting, some of the dates on there.
I will, after we approve the
Okay.
warning.
Okay.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, we've approved the village warning. Now the dates,
So the informational meeting is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022 at 7 PM, either via Zoom or in person.
okay,
And is that with the town or are we separate?
It is with the town, so Brian and I are working on doing the joint meeting again.
yeah.
And then voting will be Tuesday, March 1st, 2022, from 7 AM to 7 PM by Australian ballot here at the complex as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it. So, we're down to any other necessary business? Adam, I knew you'd say, you missed last meeting, so I knew you'd have something this week.
Yes, two things. One, as sitting president of the Chamber of Commerce, we'd like permission to announce our Swanton Citizen of the Year Award at the informational meeting. We did that last year via Zoom, and we would like to do that again this year. We'd like permission to do that.
Sure.
It's okay with me.
Sure, seems appropriate, everybody.
Yep.
It's a good place. Yep. Can be in the news.
Okay,
It's good.
thank you. And then word of the week is patience. Have a little.
Okay, especially on the road.
Especially on the road, especially by my house,
Yeah, right. I knew that entered into it somewhere.
especially when you see people walking. Have a little patience.
Okay,
So-
Gene, any comment, or?
I was gonna comment about COVID-19 again, so please take care of yourselves. Lost a family member yesterday to COVID-19, so it sinks in. And if anybody wants to talk to me about it, give me a call.
Sorry for your loss, Gene. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to do remote tonight, because of, we've had some influx within the village. So we felt that just for the safety of the public, not to have people in the building tonight for the meeting. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can get everybody back in and open it back up again.
Hopefully. Chris?
The only thing, when I was reading through our emails, the dam relicensing?
Yep.
Is the major thing the fish ladder thing?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, I can go through that, that's on my list of stuff to talk about.
Okay, well that,
Go right ahead.
when we get to you can do that.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Okay. So, give you good news, we were approved again for the standard offer exemption, so that's good because we're 100% renewable and we don't have to pay into the standard offer for the state. Remember that we had that, about 3 years ago, so we got approved again this year. So that's good. So our license, we had a meeting with the Agency of Natural Resources, Fish and Wildlife, and we went through, this is the proposed PME, they call it the Protection, Mitigation, and Enhancement Measures for the hydro. And basically what this is a kind of like a bartering tool. Say, we'll do this, for Fish and Wildlife. They make suggestions, we say, okay, we'll do this. We'll extend our, run a river, for the walleye. We'll go, and we're also planning on going with them, water temperature as well, because I don't know many fish that can read a calendar, so they spawn with water temperature. So we were gonna negotiate both of those, but there was one section where, so EPA recognizes navigable, that word.
Navigable.
Yeah, waters for the US as reasonable uses, as hydro is one of the reasonable uses, and they have all these others. Well, the state of Vermont also has those reasonable uses for waterways within Vermont, but they removed hydro.
Right.
The feds are okay with it, but the state of Vermont isn't.
Yeah. I think, I
Remove
can,
it as an acceptable,
yeah, they don't see
they
hydro.
didn't exempt it, but they just removed it from the list.
Yes, yeah. So there was
Into an
12 items on the PME that we said that we were going to do to help improve,
Natural resources.
natural resources, our negotiation skills with the agency. And one of the things that we suggested to them, because aesthetics happens to be part of the approved uses of rivers, and they wanted us to overflow the bag by 1 to 3 inches continuously. And we said, well, we'll do it from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On some of the state holidays, so Town Meeting Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Battle of Bennington, Labor Day, Veterans Day, and Thanksgiving Day. We would do that from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. because you can't see aesthetics really at night. And basically they said no, they want it continuous. So now that just puts us in a precarious position where the comment I made basically was that would be financially devastating for this region, as well as our ratepayers, but also, as you know, Highgate gets sales money from us. So a certain percentage is a calculation of how much we sell electricity or how much electricity we produce, they get a check. That would be extremely reduced as well. So it doesn't only impact Swanton, it impacts Highgate. So in this region, the northeast part, or the northeast, northwest, the northern border counties are, basically impacted. I don't want to call it distressed, but we're lower income, businesses and economics. So I said this would be devastating for this area, this region, and basically they didn't really care. So I had some conversations with Tim Smith. I will be having conversations with our local businesses, and I will be requesting a meeting with the governor's office to basically say that the governor's motion, or the governor's movement on climate change and everything else for renewables within the state of Vermont, basically, this organization doesn't care what the governor's goals are for the state of Vermont. And they basically said that.
This agency just doesn't care.
Yeah, they're,
They don't care. They care more about fish than they care about the quality of human
Well,
life.
We
That's
already
wrong.
bypassed the right amount of water to keep the,
they're min-flow, yes.
yeah, to keep the lower part of the river
Yes,
viable even in low water time.
Yeah.
What's their problem?
aesthetics. They wanna see the water over the back.
Aesthetics.
Well,
yes.
who's gonna look at it?
That's what we tell them. That's what we ask them.
Nobody.
So who's gonna, who's gonna look at it? Who's gonna see it? So that's why we said, well, we'll do it these holidays when people aren't working.
We have water over the dam in downtown. They can come down and sit and watch it.
Yeah.
We'll charge them to watch. Be fun.
I think your idea of a meeting
Yeah, I'd like
is a good idea.
So, Morrisville was in, their negotiations for Green River Reservoir,
Yes.
that hydro facility. They're at a point now where $1 million plus in their, relicensing, and they still haven't received their water quality certificate. So this is key to our water quality certificate within our relicensing. If we can't get into any, negotiation phase, or that's what the PME is, a negotiation phase, so we'll do this if you let us do whatever. And they just basically rebut what we put in here. As far as I'm concerned, all of this is off the board now, if they're gonna have us do continuous flow. For one thing, it's hazardous to the bladder in the wintertime, because it creates an ice jam behind it. And if we had a January event, that bag wouldn't be able to, that bag wouldn't be able to deflate appropriately. And that's what it's designed to do. When the river level rises, is to deflate. Well, that ice would hold it up, or it would catastrophically rupture the bladder. So I told them that's unsafe. We can't do that in the wintertime.
They didn't wanna hear that.
No,
What is our attorney saying?
Paul Nolan, that's what he advised me to do, is to get a meeting with the governor's office.
Is
So-
Paul willing to come up for the meeting?
I'm gonna see you that, I'm gonna go down there, I'll spend a lot of time down there.
Okay.
But,
If you
I've
want
already
some
contacted,
support, I'll be glad to go with you.
I've already contacted Tim Smith, so he's on board with this. I'm gonna contact Monica Green, Gordon Winters, I'm gonna contact, Swan Valley's no longer, but I'll contact Plumrose, Cargill, Pool and Grain, all our businesses in the area.
Town of Highgate.
Town of Highgate, border protection. So,
What does the paper mill have to do for their generation? Do they have to go through the same?
no idea. No idea. I know Sheldon Springs is going
Yeah.
through the relicensing as well, as Enosburg is also.
How are they
Are
doing?
they getting hassled for this too?
Enosburg, not so much. They operate Run a River. So they operate Run a River, and that's where they would like us to operate, is Run a River, but we have, potential to impound. So a 2 foot, we never go 2 feet. We usually go maybe 18 inches. So when we do our drawdown, because it takes time to recover. So during those peak moments when people are using up electricity and we have the water to produce, we run more or harder during those peak hours when people are basically arriving home or waking up in the morning. That's where we try to hit. By doing what we've been doing, it's been productive. It's been working out pretty well for us, and it helps save us from going out on the market and purchasing power on the spot market.
It's efficient.
But they would rather us do Run a River. So basically, no ponding. What comes in goes out. If it goes over the bag, so be it.
That's not the way to efficiently make electricity.
Correct.
No, and
But
How
now-
long
remember
are
what I
the fish
said,
going over that?
remember what I said initially. They don't recognize as hydro generation as a use of Vermont waters.
Who is this people? Who is?
Agency of Natural Resources.
Resources.
Biggest
Is
bear
that a bunch
pants in
of,
the
bunch of
business.
attorneys? It
No,
must be.
no,
New York City attorneys?
they're under Julie Moore department.
There isn't anybody I know.
But the
Julie
PUC
Moore-
is not giving us any issues. I mean,
What's that?
PUC has not given us any issues.
No, it's a separate agency though, they're just for rates and.
Left hand, right hand,
Yes.
Governor and the state agency,
governor, state, I know.
you know, that's kinda like you guys telling me to do something and they say, I'm gonna do something else.
Yeah,
How many times are you gonna do that, keep your job?
yeah.
Probably once. That's all.
It works in the state.
Like I said, the gentleman, and we have him, it is recorded, basically says we don't follow those rules, we follow the rules of the river. That's what we're tasked to do, is protect our waterways. And this is the only
If they knew
river.
what they were talking about, I'd have the conversation with them, but they don't know what they're talking about.
So this is the only river in the state of Vermont that shows natural repopulation of walleye because of the lower Swanton Dam for one. But since 1894, or
1888.
no, 1894 is when we got the hydro. We haven't had a detrimental loss of anything, sturgeon, walleye, we haven't had caused anything to go extinct within our rivers because of the way we've operated our hydro.
Right. True.
So we still have debt to serve on our hydro plant. So if we are extremely reduced on our production, that would mean that we would probably, I'm guessing, I don't wanna scare anybody, that we would probably double what GMP charges for rates. Right now we're 12, I think GMP's, what, Lynn, do you remember, 21, 22?
I know they're subsequently higher than us.
Okay. Usually I'm an optimistic person, you know, I come in here and try to, I haven't sugarcoated the damn thing tonight. This is the way it is, this is the way it was presented to me.
Well, and that's what the people out in TV land need to know. I
That's
mean,
discouraging.
you know, we're fighting for our dam, we're fighting for our livelihood. You know?
Do we have a direct route to the governor? Can you actually, if you called him, would he talk to you?
Yeah.
We could try.
He probably, I mean, he spent a couple days up here in 2018. He
Yeah.
came up for our dam,
Why don't you,
for our bridge,
why don't you call him
Dedication.
and ask him for an hour of his time?
Sounds like
You
that's
go
his
down
plan.
there, talk on the phone, whatever,
yeah.
and, you know, come up with a pretty good set of talking points, tell him what you wanna talk about. We'll see.
Like I said, that's,
See what
I
we
needed
make
to
of-
let you know, you guys know what was going on, and that's what's gonna be happening, so.
Is there any value of talking to Enosburg and Sheldon in this matter?
We tried to get Sheldon Springs, like we are doing with Enosburg,
Yes, I
going
know.
in together, and they didn't respond back to us.
Yeah,
So they're kind of an independent. So I could discuss it with them, but,
Don't sound like they wanna be receptive to it either.
yeah, I don't know what it would do to them. I thought they were owned by GMP. And now, I think the GMP bought them out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe.
I don't know if you know, Lynn.
I don't believe it's GMP, no, it's, oh, but it's still, it's independently owned, I believe.
Okay,
GMP just buys the outlet.
okay, thank you.
Okay,
So that's the good news.
yeah.
that's the
I
good
wanna get
news.
it back in this.
So we are now, so this was the 2 pages of our hydro relicensing, okay? And we are down into, well, it was the agency's visit, so we're on the last page up here. We will probably not get our water quality certificate, but we shall see.
It won't be of our doing.
Well, so Morrisville, they're trying to get the state to buy their dam because they can't produce electricity because of the rules that were set by the A&R. So they're no longer able to, basically run the dam, or run the hydro. And that's Green River Reservoir, it's on the other side of it, the campsite, or the state park. And, in all rights, Morrisville could tear that dam down, because they own the dam. And then you'd be without a state park, but that's a revenue source for the state of Vermont. Separate leg.
Yeah,
Maddening.
sad thing, so.
It's very, it angers you. I mean, it's stupidity. stupidity.
It appears to be in conflict with our idea of renewable power and renewable energy, and to replace fossil fuels. If you, I don't know where you're gonna buy power that is called renewable. It's gonna force us to possibly buy fossil fuel power, and that is not our goal.
So one of the goals, so there's a bill out there, H 557. It's not passed yet, but it's in the House. And I'm just going from memory. They want to reduce the amount of Hydro-Quebec and NYSEC, New York hydro, by 10% every year that we purchase out of state. So that means they want to increase the renewable aspect internally to the state of Vermont.
By some other means. And I don't know what they are. What are these other
It
means?
definitely may not be hydro.
May not be.
Well,
And the ones
the only
coming-
thing there is wind and solar, and
Exactly.
what's happened in California with all the wind and solar, they're rolling blackouts.
Exactly what they're
So the
doing.
amount of carbon footprint that is emitted from the production of solar panels and wind turbines is much larger than the carbon footprint that we developed back in '91 when we reconstructed our hydro to where it is today.
Absolutely.
And the production of precious metals that they have to dig out of the ground to make these solar panels,
Yes,
they're mining.
that's a different issue in
Yeah.
itself. And nobody's looking at that. The state's the state of Vermont's not. Chris can tell you a lot more about that, but.
Yeah, they come from China
And they're using power that's fossil related.
Yeah. And what happens with, like the solar panels, they have a shelf life.
About
And
25 years.
but you put them in all at the same time,
Yeah,
so they all shit the bed at the same time.
exactly.
You know, and if you
Exactly.
try phasing them in ahead of time, that's extra cost because now you got overlap. It just doesn't make any sense.
They reduce functionality.
Along this line,
Makes no
though,
sense.
I do support a project that's being proposed by Vermont Gas, University of Vermont, and
Global Foundries.
Hydrogen.
Global Foundries to produce hydrogen gas,
Yeah.
which they intend to, at this point, mix with natural gas to reduce the fossil fuel. And I can see a future there where they use the hydrogen directly,
Yeah, fuel cells.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
It's
a
a
lot of
great
this
technology.
activity in other parts of the country, but I don't see anything happening here in New England.
I'd love to see a micro nuclear
Yes.
generator.
Right up at Highgate, if they shut us down.
Yeah.
You wanna get rid of hydro, we'll put a nuclear plant up there.
That's that's
Pretty easy.
pretty
Well,
expensive.
Yeah.
The absolute
micro
most
units,
efficient
yeah.
way to make electricity is boil water. You boil water with nuclear fission, or burning natural gas, or a mix of natural gas, or oil, or wood. But the most efficient way to make electricity is boil water, make steam.
Okay, let's get back on track here.
Yes.
Sorry. That's where we are with that relicensing.
Okay, does anybody else got any more to say on necessary business?
Oh, sorry.
I see number 11, got a request for executive session to discuss real estate, or is that,
I think that was with the town, it was more,
Oh, that wasn't-
yeah, it was,
okay.
should have been legal.
I do have a personnel, if we could swap it in,
Sure.
oh, executive session for personnel?
If you wish,
please.
if you need to.
Please.
Okay, that's a motion.
Yes, please.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss personnel. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no opposition, we're in executive session.
Recording stopped.
Sorry.
Okay. I guess
Yeah, you can
Now-
keep going.
we're back in regular session from executive session. We discussed personnel, a personnel issue. No decisions were made in that discussion. So, I think, we're almost to the end of our agenda this evening. And if nothing else is, to be brought up, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn this regular meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees. Like Gene says earlier, take care of yourselves. We'll beat this COVID thing, hopefully, soon. So all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.